Good evening, everybody. My name is Matthew White. Many of you would know me from my emails over the last little while, certainly over the years. And what we're going to be doing this evening is a demonstration of the IQPro software and the membership site, because it's all well and good to sell a really great program, but it's actually more important to make sure that the people who buy the program are successful. And actually, I'm really excited. I think I can see one or two customers on the line here. Tomorrow night, I'm hosting a webinar with a chap named Chris. He's earned well over $2 million with the software over his time of using the program, and he's going to be sharing some of his ideas. And that is another service that we provide for after-sales service for customers, so they can really square their shoulders into success with the software. So I've just got a couple of slides here. Remember, you can ask a question through the question box. I will interrupt myself and go ahead and answer those. And if I don't necessarily directly answer your question, I would have seen it. What I will do is, through my explanation, hopefully cover that off, so it positions it or provides everybody with more information, not just answering your question in particular as a single. So let's get into it. So here we've got, let's go to the next one. So just one of the first things I wanted to talk about is the fact that we've been around since 1999, and the chap that's actually going to be on the webinar tomorrow night is one of your early customers from late 1999. And the reason we've been so successful is because of our constant and never-ending improvement. And our improvement and our commitment to that improvement has always borne through new versions of the software, new training events, and things like that. So it's really important that as an owner of our program, you take yourself through the process and learn it and become very familiar. So, you know, the people out there making very comfortably $45,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year, following our program, learning it. I just recently, last week, got a referral from a chap in Brisbane who's earned $42,500 last year, and he said this is the best thing he's done. He's actually semi-retired now and looking to actually fully take this on board as his retirement income, because the money is not taxable, seeing as it's already been taxed. So this is a really great program, represents excellent value. It's an amazing hobby, and when I don't know the New Zealand, because I've got a few New Zealand here tonight, but in Australia, our pension, when people do retire, is at the laughable rate of around about $15,000 to $18,000 a year. And that's not going to keep anybody fed and watered and housed. So this is why programs like this have become so popular in the last couple of years. So what this Barry from Bathurst here is just saying is he purchased the program 15 years ago, and what we have today is absolutely fantastic. It can guarantee you there is no comparison between the old program and the new IQPro system. That's really great to see. It's nice to have those sort of testimonials come through. That one only came through a little while ago. And because we are always working to develop better systems. So just move on to the next one. Just a couple here. Malcolm from New Zealand. I bought the Trilogics. This is the old program. Actually all of you would know that we had the old program. I bought the Trilogics license 3 years ago with a view of earning a supplementary income. After the company restructure and with solid training and learning and a business plan, I now regularly get an 85% success rate on trades I place with the IQPro. I do percent return, Exacta and Quinella, and sometimes only investing $50. My return over March, a couple of months ago, was $2,100, and I spent 7 hours a week on average. That's the sort of regular return he was seeking. So Malcolm is a business coach, is as a professional. The reason he bought the program is to create a secondary income, create that opportunity. So if he does ever want to step back from work, he's got a money tap. He can turn on for more money, he can turn off, and nobody's going to be terribly upset. Nobody's going to be put out by the fact that he's gone ahead and not continued to run the business for a couple of weeks or a month. He just went up to Port Douglas, actually. So just by the way, for the people who have just joined us, I am recording tonight's session, and I'll definitely send it out to you. So don't worry that you've missed any of the crucial information. The goal of this evening is to take you through the IQPro introduction the demonstration and the membership. So I will keep going. So in regards to Malcolm, he was one of the key players in the restructure of the business. He helped me, and him and another chap named George Madrina, I asked both of them to become directors. So essentially I can be outvoted, even though I started the company in 1999 and continue to run it today. We have 2 customers who are also directors with myself. So that means we are really just simply focused on delivering great service to our customers, ensuring they get a profitable return on a weekly and monthly basis. So the program for this evening is to go through the introduction, which I've done, demonstration of the software, and talk about the membership website and how we make sure that nobody's ever left behind. That's a really important part. Everybody comes from different areas, various levels of computer knowledge and horse racing and all those sort of things. We make sure that we start from zero in our training and take it one step at a time. We've got, actually I think I've got another slide here. Yeah, here's another. So this is so far following the very basic use of the software. And so you can see here it's pretty regular. We had a very good month there, 7,000, and we had a $3,000 month there. So far this month in August we're at 2,300. So, it's going pretty well. And we expect to be looking at around about $55,000, $56,000 in projected earnings so far. Just over halfway through the year, we've got $33,000 in the bank, and that's following the very basic rules. The rules that we teach in the training. You don't need to overthink it. You don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't need to really break your neck learning. It's actually just about following the system and being dedicated, committed. So there's 4 key elements to being successful with the program, and if you'd like to get this report that I wrote a little while ago about the 4 key elements, I can email it to you. Just email me at the end of the session. And those 4 key elements are time, temperament, technology, and capital. So in regards to time, to make this sort of money, you need 10 to 15 hours a week, the more the merrier. But as you saw from Malcolm's testimonial just previously, spends about 7 hours a week. The second part is temperament. We're not necessarily looking for gamblers. We're looking for people with a level head. We're looking for people who are going to treat this like a business. And that's a really important part. Treat it like a business. Don't get involved in horse racing per se. We want to make sure that people are successful with the program, and we can take almost anybody from any background, any level of knowledge, and make them create these sort of returns and more. This is, as I said, this is the very basics. But what's really achievable is, as I mentioned about Chris earlier, is he's earned well in excess of $200,000 or $300,000 in a year from use of the software, and by adding in, building on the foundation that we're going to build this evening, and building on the foundation we do through training. So let's get into actually seeing the software without any further ado. So let me just go ahead and bring the software up. Okay, so this is the program, and just by the way, remember the question box there, or email. You can email me a question. Of course, if you're emailing me a question, I can't answer that during the session, because I'm not checking my emails and looking at both of these screens and all that sort of stuff to see your question. So if you can find the question box, do so. Ask the question. So here's today's trading. We've had not much action actually today. We had one trade. I think it was earlier on in the day. Let me go ahead and view that, and you can see here that let me just put this over here. We've had one trade, and that was SR7 being a trifecta. Now that's not that's this race here. So I'll show you that in a moment. But what I will do is I'll go up to the top here, give you a basic understanding of what we're talking about, show you that the other races of the day didn't qualify and how obvious it is why they didn't qualify, and how to identify races that will qualify. And then I might show you what happened last Saturday, because last Saturday and the previous Saturday to that were both $1,000 days. And so, if you've got the time on a weekend to actually trade the program, there's some real money to be made with it. Let me just take a sip of my water. All right then, so I assume everybody can see the IQPro software. It might look like a lot of numbers, but let me break it down into really simple terms so you can get a handle on it really, really quickly. So all of these numbers and all this information is great. Let's look down here in the section down here entitled Trifecta. Now we're looking at trifecta because that's the one up here. Follow my mouse. Up here saying trifecta, that's the type of trading we're doing. And down here, you can see all the different rules that go to actually qualify a trifecta, or from the top there you can read it from left to right: trifecta, percent return, bookie, win, place, quinella, and exacta. So we have lots of different styles of trading. Tonight I'm basically going to talk about trifecta. If we've got time, I'll talk about percent return, and we'll take it from there. So as you would notice, the first thing anybody notices here is some of them are red and some of them are green. And most of you would probably drive a car, so hopefully you would know the difference between a red light and a green light. Green means go, red means stop. So if any of these rules, and I haven't explained the rules yet, and I will in a moment, if any of these rules are broken, they go red. And if they're red, you don't trade. All right, really simple stuff. Red means stop. All right then, so I've just had a couple more people join us. Welcome. And I am, by the way, recording this session, so you'll get those on email. All right then, so if there's anything in red, you don't trade. Let's go ahead and look and break this screen down into the three main areas. On the left-hand side are all the races that I've chosen to collect information on today. So I've decided I want to get information on Doomben, Sandown, Morfordville, Canterbury, and Belmont in Western Australia. So I've collected those 5 venues. So the first race today happened at 12:05, and the reason these are in blue is because they're finished. The races in orange mean they've closed and have an interim result, and then sometimes you'll see a yellow one means that the race is actually running, and so there's no result yet. So that's all color-coded nicely, and of course green means not yet happened. Okay, so Doomben. Now when we click on Doomben race 1, if I click on this, say the next race, you can see the information here changes slightly. Go back up here. Right. All the information from in this box, in this big area here, is about the horses that are running in Doomben today. And we order the horses from favourite to least favourite. So the horse number 4 is the favourite, paying $2.90, and the least favourite horse down the bottom here is $86. One thing that a lot of people might say to me at this stage is, hang on, there's no horses' names, there's no jockeys, there's no trainers, and that's absolutely deliberate. We don't use that information. Look, if you're a person who wants to know that information, you can go ahead and right-click, hit show or hide details, and there it is. You can see that. But it's not important to me, and it's certainly not important to most of our traders, because we're looking at the numbers. So, but the information is there. The IQPro don't hide anything. We just simply, don't eliminate anything. We hide it because it's not important to us. So then this here column is telling us what each horse is paying for a win. The next column over is what each horse is paying for is holding as a percentage of the prize pool. So horse number 4 is holding 29% of the money. So this field of 16 horses. But 30% of the money, 29%, is being bet on horse number 4, which makes it the favourite. The next horse down is holding 14%. The next one down is holding 11%. Cumulatively, you see that in the next column, the C percentage column. So the cumulative percentage column is going to show us the amount of money covered on those 3. That's 55%. So these 3 horses, whilst there's 16 horses in the race, 55% of the money is being bet on horse 4, 10, and 3. And that's significant because the market is telling us, the marketplace. So what we're looking for is market intelligence. And then what the market is here is telling us is half the money. Most of the people betting in this race think that either 4, 10, and 3 are going to get the chocolates. Okay? So the next column over is what each horse is paying for a place. I'm going to skip over all of these columns here because they're not important for today's information and for today's high-level demonstration. If you'd like a personal demonstration, a one-on-one where we can go deep into the program, spend the time, I actually really love doing it, so I'm more than happy to do it for you on a one-on-one basis. The MG column is important. That's going to show us the difference between one horse and another. And you think, well, how do I tell the difference? Well, the only way to genuinely tell the difference between one horse and another is to look at the price. Horse number 4 is paying $2.90 and horse number 10 is paying $5.80. What's the difference there? Well, the difference between those two horses is, well, a couple of bucks. But the real difference I'm looking for is as a percentage, what's the difference? Well, it's more than 100% or 2 times, showing me that horse number 4 is twice as good in regards to money and support as horse number 10 is. And so the MG column is showing us the difference between one horse and another in mathematical terms. Now I'll tell you how to use that information in just a moment. The idea today, right now, in this current chapter, is to lay the foundation of everything we're going to talk about, and then from there, build on that. The R column I'm going to skip over. The 1, 2, and 3 column. This is the horses we're covering for a first, second, and third. Now the program automatically covers a certain number of horses for a first, a second, and a third. The program covers 50% of the cumulative prize pool for a first. There it is. 70% for a second. There it is. And 90% for a third. Now, what we're looking at also is beyond this information over here, this is the exact dollar amount going down on each horse each minute before the race jumps. So, for example, between the 4-minute mark and the 3-minute mark, in that 60 seconds, a brand new $1,459 was placed on horse number 4. Between the 3-minute mark and the 2-minute mark, a brand new $576 was placed. So you can see that the money coming in to a crescendo. If you go ahead and change the display, you can go ahead and identify how the information is actually coming in. Oops, missed it. There we go. So you can see how the money's going from 2.6 to 2.7 all the way up now $5,600 placed in horse number 4. This is important for you to know as you get more involved and deeper into the program. Right now, just accept that that's what the information is, and we'll keep going. I don't want to. This evening's demonstration should go for around about half an hour. My goal is not to get really deep into it. As I said, just let me know through the question box or the email or hit reply. Let me know that you want to go ahead and see a live demonstration personally. So the rules down here they are. I want to see rules of 8 to 15 horses. Less than 8, greater than 15, it's a no bet. I've actually got that set up to 15. Some people set it up to 14 or 16. I choose 15, and you can go ahead and get the program to tell you. It doesn't stop you from actually trading, but I guess get it to tell me that, hey, 8 to 14 horses is where it's set up. Not 15, sorry, my mistake. 8 to 14 horses, and this has 16 horses in the race. So it's a no trade. And as soon as you see anything in red, no bet. Dollars on favourite. We want at least $1.80 on the favourite. That's in green because it's $2.90. The pool, we want more than $5,000. Really simple. The more the merrier. One of our customers, Malcolm, actually did a webinar a little while ago, last week, and said, well, he says he uses a more the merrier theory, he called it. If there's more money in the pool, he feels more confident. And often on a Saturday, you'll see, $50,000 or $100,000 in those prize pools. The combos, when the program automatically selects the 50, 70, 90, we want to make sure it's under 60 combinations, because we might find ourselves spreading our money far too thinly to actually produce a profitable return. In line with that, dollars on top combo is $20, a minimum of 20, and see here you can see 14. Let me show you those combos just quickly. And yes, John, I'll get to your question. This is the answer to your question, John. How do you spread that money out? Well, here it is. No, it's not. John was just asking, is this a box trifecta? Now, a box trifecta is putting the same amount of money on every combination, whereas what we do is we put a different dollar amount on every combination. So if we have a look here, that's a good question, John. Shows you're a bit of a horse racing guy. But what we've got here is $14 on 4, 10, and 3, because mathematically 4, 10, 3 is the most likely to come in. Okay, and so we've got $14 on there. The least favourite or least likely trifecta to come in is 3, 8, and 5. And where would that be? Well, right down the bottom. And that's only got $1 on it, because that's likely to pay the most amount of money. So overall, what our program does, this is the clever part. This is the reason we can charge the money we charge for it. This is the reason that we actually use the program in a mathematical sense rather than a horse racing sense, because we can put a different dollar amount on up to 60 different combinations, and if any of those come in, double or treble our return. And the program is going to eliminate most of the races that don't qualify, as you can see here in red. So dollars on top combo is 14, we need at least 20. And we don't want to have too many of our bets being $1, $2, or $3 trades for the same reason. If we get a mid trifecta, maybe it pays $100, 100 to 1, great. We've got $1 on it. Well, we've earned $100, great. But we spent over here $400 getting there. We spent $400 on the trade. Now you can choose whatever dollar figure you like. You can choose a $100 trade, 200 or whatever. Of course, the sweet spot is the over $200 per trade. And of course, you can trade any amount you like as long as the prize pool supports that. And a lot of customers ask, can I trade with more money? Yes, you can. You just need to ensure that your rules are based around a higher level of trading dollar amount, and you can talk to Peter about that, Frank. So Frank just asked the question, can we trade with more money? So yeah. Okay, so that's that. All right then, let's carry on with a maiden race. Now I've asked the program to tell me when there is a maiden race. I'm okay with betting on a maiden race. A maiden race is when none of the horses yet have won a race. That's what a maiden is in horse racing terms. Okay. Some customers, like for the previous example was Malcolm, who has a very high strike rate, over 82%, 85%. He will actually eliminate races that have a maiden race because he would prefer to trade less and have a higher strike rate. For me, I'm just here for the money, so therefore I'll happily trade whatever to ensure, as long as of course the rules are met and I am going ahead and achieving my goals. All right then, so remember I've had a few people ask questions. If you do have a question, please go ahead and find the question box or the chat box. Do open that, type the question in, and I'll answer it for you. All right then, so let's go back to the race list. We know the rules, we know what's going on here. Let's click onto the next race. And immediately you can see all of these rules are still not met. All of these are in red. Next race here in Sandown, field 6 horses, never going to work. So if you're sitting here in front of the program today at 12:42 p.m., you've looked at this race, you've decided not to take a trade. The next race is at 12:52. It's got 6 horses in it. You're never going to trade it, so you just move on. That's called scoping out the race. You look forward to what's actually going on. Hey, no, this is not going to be a trade I'm going to look at. Move on to the next race, Adelaide at 1 o'clock. So you've got 18 minutes there between races. Oh, this one's got 7 horses in it. See how quickly I can decide on whether a race qualifies or not? Boom, it's red, no bet. That one doesn't qualify. Let's look for the next qualifying one. Oh, that was Canterbury has 6 horses. Doomben has 11. Okay, so between 12:42 and 1:17, so half an hour. You can, of course, spend your time looking forward through the races. Go, will I look at the next race, go through it, make a little note on a notepad, set a timer on your watch, or your one of our clients has an egg timer. He's put on a string and sticks in his top pocket, and so he, if he wants to go out and do the gardening or answer the door or make a cup of tea, whatever, it just dings at him, says, hey, go back to the computer. Of course, there's also audio cues for the program, and you might be able to hear those later on tonight when the next race goes live. All right, so Doomben, all right, very quickly, and I'm sure all of you would already know from our 10 minutes or 15 minutes of explanation, if anything's red, you don't trade. Do I trade in this race? No. So keep your eyes down here in this section. This is where the rubber hits the road. This is the important part. Okay, when we find races that have all green, that's when we'll look further at what's going on up here. If these are all red, don't even bother. I can move on. Next race, dollars on top combo. Now, some people said, oh, well, can I bend the rules? Look, there are what we call allowances. We do make some allowances for some rule changes, but currently in the early stages of your trading, there's no allowances. You just do it by the book. So here in red, no bet. Next race, all of these are in red. Another one you can skip over. What's this? 7 horses in the field at 1:35. This is the next race you could look at. low dollar multiple values. Now, I was looking at this before. Let me go ahead and low dollar multiple 43%. That's not going to work for us, is it? Okay, next race. We've got here, that's definitely a no bet. Everything's red. And so rather than me going through and showing you all of these that are red, and there are a couple of users online with our program, and they'll be able to qualify that as well. We had only one trade today. If we go down to Doomben, that one doesn't qualify. That one obviously didn't qualify. Sandown didn't qualify. So you can see really easy. Hopefully everybody here is getting a bit of an understanding that, hey, it's really obvious when a race doesn't qualify. Okay, here's the race that I looked at earlier. Let me just go and unlock the selection. This is how the program presented the information. We make our decision 1 minute before the race jumps, and this is exactly what our customers who are online today, if they were trading with the program, should have done. This is absolutely down the line, no questions asked. So we've got these two horses covered for first place. Now there's a red marker here. So it's reasonable to group these two horses together, horse paying $2.60 and $3.50. And there's a huge gap, $3.50 to $7. Well, how big is it? It's double, obviously, $3.50 to $7. And if you couldn't do the math, we've got a big red marker over here. We're looking for groupings where there's a 50% or greater, so 1.5 or more. So of course, 1.31 doesn't qualify, which is 31% bigger. 1.9 certainly does, 1.67 certainly does. Okay, so what do? We go, those two horses are fine. Now, the program has added to 70% here for a second place. Horse number 9 is paying $9.20. Horse number 1 paying $10.10. Well, the difference there is quite small. It's at 90 cents. It's not mathematically reasonable to say horse number 9 is worthy of our money for a second place, and horse number 1's relegated to a third position. Not at all. It's not reasonable to say it mathematically. Look, one horse might be a lovely grey horse from New Zealand, the other one might be a brown one from Queensland. I don't know, and I really don't care. This is actually about numbers. As far as the market is concerned, horse number 9 is very, very close to horse number 1. So I need to go ahead and add that in. And of course, horse number 1 paying $10.10 to $12.50, the difference is 1.24 or 24%. I need to go ahead and add that in as well. Okay, so I've got those two horses covered for first place. There's my red marker. All these covered there for a second place, and these covered here for a third place. Now, one thing is, I'm just getting there. Oh yeah, okay. No, we don't need to add any extras. Somebody just asked, do we need to add more because do I add this red marker here for a third place? No, I don't, because I've got this covered to 90%. I don't need to add any more there. So I add to the next available red marker. If that was like that, yes, I would need to add that in, and I wouldn't need to add any more in there. So that is the trade. And all of these are still in green. So we've got 9 horses in the field. Great. $2.60. Yep. $21,000. Great. 40 combinations. $25 on the top combo, and only 7% of our bets are $1, $2, or $3 trades. The result, if we have a look in this section here, 8, 4, and 6 came in first, second, and third. Dividend paid $56. So for every $1 we had on that trade, we got $56 back. We had it 15 times, producing us $849. You take off the $400 cost, actually $398, producing us $451 profit on that race. So, some people might say, oh, well, that was one trade in the day. Yep, that's true. I've been here since 12:05. I've had a couple of half-an-hour breaks throughout the day. I'm here at 4:50, and I just made $451. Well, that's pretty good. It's almost $100 an hour, and it's tax paid. So that's the reason that our program is so successful, is because it's so accurate. Because people can actually really heavily rely on the indicators it's shown, the training that we provide, and you can go, you know what, this is a trade I'd like to do. Hit it. Now look, don't think that this is a 100% of the time trading, you will trade profitably around about 65% of the time. Okay, that means 35% of the time you will lose. And I don't mind showing you that. Actually, what I'm going to show you is last Saturday, because that was a great example of having a trading plan and a strategy in place, and actually sticking with the program to produce some profits. So let's go click on history. This is how the program works. So all of this information here is all the ones in blue are the days that I've collected data on. So if we go back to last Saturday, brings up a window, a new window, and looks exactly like the live window. We'll just expand that out so it looks like the full live program. And here it is. Here's what one would be looking at for the day. Let me just go ahead and show you the results for that day. Okay, so here it is. The first race of the day, trifecta, and I've purposely selected this day because it started out with a loss. I don't want anybody walking away from this conversation this evening going, oh, well, you know, all they did was show me win, 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 and it's a bit hard to believe. Look, I get that. It's a horse racing program. We have been doing it 16 years. We really do know what we're doing. We are the experts. We're the best in the country. And look, I don't know of any other programs globally that are as accurate as our program. So, but we're still dealing with horse racing, and you still have to recognise and accept that there's going to be some, in stock market terms, we call it a drawdown, which sounds a lot nicer than a loss. All right, so it starts with a trading loss. Then we had a percent return trade, which was a profit. Let me go ahead and show you BR1, show you what a percent return looks like, so you can actually understand what we're talking about there. So the first race, LR1, no bet. Let's find the BR1 rather than flicking through all of these. Oh, so clearly a no bet for a trifecta. But let's go ahead and look at percent return. What's that giving us? Well, let me just show you what percent return looks like when in user selections. I've got the program telling me when eliminating the favorite. Just so there's something for me to do, I need to actually interact with the program to be very, very confident. And so what I look at is, first of all in green. Now we need 8 to 16 horses in the race. We've got 12, that's green, that's fine. So before it was 8 to 14, now it's 8 to 16. Percentage of the favorite. Percentage of the favorite is actually only holding 22%. I want the program to show me when it's bigger than 22%, when there's a strong favorite, and that's going to be shown up here in red. This in particular indicator is going to show me in red. It's not a reason to stop, it's a reason to look. Okay. And we've got the next is pool, 58,000, more the merrier, as always. Over $20,000 we want, and percent return, I want at least 50%. So you can see that over in this area, bet amount $200, percent return 50%, making a $300 profit. Sorry, $300 return being a $100 profit. All right then. So what I'm going to do is I like to include the favorite, and I'm going to look for the red money mark, which is here. So I will do this, this, and this. Remove these horses to this red money mark. Add in this horse here. These are still in all green. If I add this one in here, this should go below the 50% and go red. So you can see how the program is fully dynamic. So I'm going to move these 3 horses. There's a 1.5 gap between horse number 10 and horse number 5. Now it's not in relation to price, 550 to 680, for any of the keen-eyed people in the room tonight. The actual difference is in cash. So we've got a new column here saying C percentage or cash, cumulative dollars. So the cumulative dollar amount over the last 5 minutes has been $4,000 compared with $2,000. There's a 1.5 times gap there. So we're going to cover these 3 horses for a 60% return, and that's definitely a trade. All green. That is right down the line. For the clients who are online tonight, you should have got that. That is absolutely no question about it. Very much like the trade earlier today. You should have absolutely got that if you're watching the program. So there's a trade there. That's the trade. That's a percent return. All we're trying to do is cover a certain number of horses, 50% coverage for 50% return. So if you think of it 50 for 50, 50% coverage, 50% return. The only, of course, the rules we want to make sure is there's enough money in the pool and we're covering down to a 1.5 gap. If you're only covering 2 horses, you're going to cover 1.7. We're looking for a bigger gap if there's only 2 horses. Okay, so let's go back to the data sheet. And you can see here what happened. The day started off in a loss, and we just crept back. We chipped away at it. We went back to 0. I think we're at a $1.10 profit here. And then we went up to well over 500, actually almost $650 on this trade here. That is a trifecta SR4. And we had a percent return there also supporting us. And we finished the day up and down a bit at 1500. Now, a lot of customers, and some of you here online tonight, will say, you know what, I would stop here. Actually, can you quickly tell me how many customers actually did stop at this profit level last Saturday? I'll just keep talking and you let me know. Okay, thank you. Yep, good. Okay, so a few people actually went ahead and stopped there. They said, you know what, and they're thinking, this is what we teach in our training. We've got lots of trading available. SR4, which was, let's find SR4 down here, 2:15. So you've started your workday at 12. You've got 2:15, so it's a 2-hour workday. You've put $659 in the bank. Click the program off. Well, leave the program running, but walk away. You've earned your money. You can go and enjoy your lifestyle, and that's what our program is all about. Developing and creating a lifestyle that you can be proud of, that you actually can spend the time with family or go do more golf or whatever, whatever takes your fancy. It's really about, this is not necessarily a horse racing program. This is about developing a business that can create you some cash, that if you walk away from, you're not going to upset any customers. A friend of ours has a dog washing franchise and makes pretty good money out of it. But you know what? They got to be up early. It's cold and wintry at the moment, but they're still up early, home late, washing dogs. If they want to go on a holiday, it's going to be a whole rigmarole of calling every one of their clients and saying, hey, somebody else is going to be washing your dog, or hey, you're going to take 2 weeks off and your dog's going to smell. And people may not like that. They might go to another competitor. And that's a real challenge with a lot of small businesses, around this price. Actually, they spend $50,000, $40,000 on their franchise. What we've got here is a business that for under $20,000, you can create the same sort of money as they did with their dog washing franchise and work a lot less. The chance of getting bitten by a dog in this program are virtually nil. So look, I'm a very big, a big fan, proponent of the program. Obviously, it's my business. And I just wanted to make it your business. So look, that's what I wanted to show you tonight in regards to the program. I love talking about it. As you can tell, we've taken up 40 minutes of your time already. I expect it to be over and done within in half an hour. But so let me just go back and just finish up with a couple of the last slides I wanted to talk about. Just quickly, I've done the demonstration. The membership. This is really the important part. It's all well and good to have amazing software. I said this earlier. It's great to have amazing software. It's even better to have a member section that fully supports our customers to make sure that nobody's left behind, everybody's fully trained and profitable and referring us. As I said, all of the sales that I've done in the last month, last actually 2 months, have been referrals. Simply because going out there and marketing a horse racing program is challenging. But when somebody sits down with a friend and says, hey, how you going? Really good, made $1,000 last week. What did you do? Let me show you. That's the important part. So our business is focused on making sure our customers are fully trained. And here's our member section. Our member section is broken into 4 key areas: help and support, the user forum where customers can go and talk, the training, and the store. Okay, so the help and support, you can click on that and that'll take you through, let's say you decide to buy the program, you'll click on getting started. You'll go through and say there's a button saying download the program, do this, do that, and they'll ask a question. This search button up here, the search function here, you can type in how do I get the data? You can type in data, hit enter, and it's like a Google search. It brings up all the answers, and all the times the word data is mentioned, you click on that, it shows you the answers. If you're not getting the answers you're after, you submit a ticket in the top corner here, we have 2 full-time dedicated people to actually answer your questions, return on tickets, and make sure that there's a support structure there. So we've got Chris based on the Gold Coast, and we've got Mike as well. Both of those guys are fully trained IT professionals. Chris has been with us for more than 8 years. We grabbed him out of uni and we've kept him. We didn't let him go. So there's nobody who knows more about the program than Chris, even to a point where some customers just aren't coping. They're not sure. They're a little bit computer unsavvy. So Chris will go ahead and dial into their computer, take remote control of their computer, set it all up for them, and then pass the control back over. So we really take our customer service seriously. We've also got support groups that happen every city in Australia and New Zealand, and so once you're an owner of the program, you should definitely get along, find out who's running your local support group, go along, meet other users, and learn from their experiences. So in regards to training, we have 8 video lessons. Inside each one of those video lessons, there is resources. Well, first of all, let's start up here. Key objective, understanding of basic trifecta selection process. Now, we spent about 20 minutes tonight talking about trifectas. I'm sure you will already have a pretty good understanding. But Peter McConville, who's our trainer, he's been with us for about 11 years, trained hundreds of people in the successful use of the program, and he's also still available to people as they've come out of training to talk one-on-one, do webinars like this. He will go through the program with you, but he's gone and recorded 27 minutes of really good information to make sure you're fully informed about just trifectas. Then we've said, okay, what's the 1 or 2 key elements that might cause people a question? Well, it's that money gap thing. Remember that 1.5 that I got a few questions on? Well, he's going to spend another 4.5 minutes talking about that, really peeling away the mystery and making sure you're fully informed. Each of the sessions also has resources you can click on and download. This is the parameters and the guidelines. You can start creating a little book for yourself. The reason we do that, early stages, you want to have all the information available to you. Once you're using the program, you'll be like, yeah, yes, green, red, whatever. Press the button, go for it. So that's how we actually do training. We also do lots of webinars, as I said. They're called data sheet review. Got this email last week. And it says, hi Matt, I enjoyed the webinar yesterday. We do that every 2 weeks. So for the customers who are here tonight, please go ahead and book in on those webinars. Really important. And for the people who haven't bought the program yet, you can go to our YouTube channel, the IQPro YouTube channel, and you'll get a link to that when you actually receive the recording of tonight's session. You can go ahead and click on that, and you'll see, well, I've actually uploaded some of our training videos there for you to see, really get a full understanding of what we're talking about, why we actually go ahead and provide this sessions and the value of it there. So he says, hi Matt, I enjoyed the webinar yesterday. The more time I spend attending these data sheet review webinar sessions, the more wins I get and the less losses. Yesterday I got 2 trifecta wins. You know, that's probably $1,000 in his bank. It's worth spending that extra half an hour a week on Saturday at 10 o'clock in the morning. And of course we do record them so you can watch them at another time. So just one thing to finish up here. Now, George bought the program back in 2008. So he says, I've been using Trilogic software, that's the old version of the program, now we've got the IQPro, since 2008. During this time, I've had a very good financial return with trading. George has probably made just a touch over $500,000 with the program. The results, I've had some ups and downs at times, but I've managed to become very confident in the system so that I can trust in a steady return. I like the direction the new support and training company has taken with IQPro, and I've become more involved in the past 2 years by joining the company as an unpaid director to help with assisting other members to achieve similar results. This is the type of customers we have, people who are already customers. You can talk to George, you can talk to Malcolm, you can talk to anybody that we put testimonials up, because we actually want you to be successful. Okay, you might have heard that ding sound and see at the bottom here, race 9. So for whatever you're doing during the day, that's just going to pop up over the top of whatever you're going to do. All right. So look, that's what I wanted to share with you this evening. The IQPro is an amazing program supported by even better support. If you are genuinely serious about taking a step in creating a bit of financial freedom for yourself, please hit reply on the email, to the webinar email. I will get back to you I'll talk you through it, maybe even put you in touch with George or Malcolm or anybody you like, maybe even in your local area, to make sure you're successful. Our measure of success is your success. And that's what's going to make us be successful for the next 16 years. We've already been doing this since 1999, last millennia, but when we're looking to actually continue on the success into the future with new people coming on board. So if you are genuinely serious, please email me. You'll also get an email in regards to getting this recording. Let me know if you're interested, and hopefully I can help you. Well, this evening, everybody, thank you very much for your questions. Hopefully I've answered those as I've gone along. I haven't directly answered some of them, but hopefully I've woven my, okay, some people are saying, yes, thank you, answer them. Hopefully I've woven my answers through the conversation as we've gone through this evening. Well, look, everybody, thank you very much for taking the time. I know everybody's got a life to lead on a Wednesday night. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and hope to speak to you very, very soon. All right then.